set, where them hands, where them holes, where them throws, you know what I'm saying?
So I'm calling this one high kicks and quick fights because two things I was told when I was coming up through the ranks that I initially didn't believe, but I now know to be true. And the internet will try to convince you is not true, despite this evidence coming from the internet. There's two things. Number one, that real fights don't last that long. That's why the one-step sparring exercise, where people criticize them because it's just a drill and they're holding their arm out like this so the person can work out their techniques. Real fights don't or shouldn't last much longer than that, or at least the exchange part. And number two, that high kicks can be very effective techniques. You just have to have the flexibility to do it, and you have to practice it. Now, the high kick one, this is technically not a real fight. It's coming from some cage match. And, well, the internet swears that cage fighting is as real as it gets. Nowadays, you don't hear too much people saying that high kicks don't work because they see it in the cage. When they were told this before back in the day, probably before a lot of you were even born watching this video, there was still a lot of the same dynamics going on about this style is better than that style or whatever. It just wasn't an internet for us to be bombarded with this stuff. So let's take a look at this first one, the high kick, that a lot of people will swear doesn't work, but yet we see this Taekwondo technique working.
It's a very interesting technique that. It's a very interesting technique that.
Yeah, and she's done. She got kicked right up in here in the stomach 5 pressure point, and she's out. I mean, you know, Taekwondo kicks terrible, all that type of stuff, and look at it right there. There's part of your proof. Now with this one, as you can see how this is going to resolve. Something else that conventional wisdom will tell you is that, you know, a younger person is always going to beat up the older person. If you're in better physical fitness shape, because this guy looks like he is fitter than the dude that knocked him on his butt. You know, if you're in better shape than the person that you're fighting, you're automatically going to win because you know reasons. But let's take a look at this. You will see that the actual fight exchange is not much longer than one-step sparring. Here we go. Hit. One hit. And the punch he used to knock him out was this vertical fist, a traditional martial arts technique. Vertical fist is in Cecil Ryu Taekwondo. So, here we go again. He just hit him one time because if we're really talking about self-defense, that's how it should be. And this right here, this to me wasn't necessarily self-defense. This was consensual, ego, one-on-one fighting. Pride, not more so than, you know, I'm protecting myself just from the way it looked. But I don't know the backstory on this. There could have been a road rage incident. And bottom line here is that the person who conventional wisdom would tell you would win is laying on the ground, and the person that quote unquote should have lost is standing there looking over top of them. It shows you the importance of experience and technique. Maybe that's what the opening move for Juche form means. Is you stand over top of him as you just knocked him out. Oh, look. Oh, he's up on his toes like they tell you to do whenever you're doing sport boxing. And the other guy's flat-footed. So that means because he's flat-footed, he should be slow, right? Keep listening to what they say, and you might end up like dude on the ground. Thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Please share this with people like to talk about the martial arts. If you don't know who I am, just go to the About section of this channel. And yeah, high kicks, quick fights. That's right. Peace.